Hey peeps, welcome to my April lookbook. I have nearly everything that I said I was going to get done. I didn't finish the Sewaholic Robson trench coat. I've altered the pattern, and when I started altering this pattern after having traced it all out, I did what I wanted to do. I added a waist seam, added some length to the bodice because it was going to be too short in the torso for me otherwise. So I'd cut the skirt pieces off and started trying to spread them so that I got a really full circle skirt kind of thing, and just realised how much work that was going to be and that it really wasn't going to work. So I dug out this Butterick pattern, which is Patterns by Gertie, for the sort of Princess 50s style coat, and just traced off the skirt portion of this. Now I have absolutely no idea if that's going to marry up. I looked at the waist measurements, I've taken those, and I think it will. So that is definitely going to be the first thing that I start sewing for May this month, and fingers crossed it works, because I really want it to. I think it's going to look really awesome. But we shall see. So yeah, didn't get that finished, and I also didn't finish my best friend's quilt, which is over here. 2 seconds. There has been progress made on this quilt though. I have gotten lots of quilting of the actual arcs done. There we go. That's a kind of an idea of what the finished article is going to look like. I've gotten all 5 rows sewn together, and I have gotten a lot of the arcs quilted down, but it's not finished. And the reason it's not finished, and the reason that the Robson Sewaholic trench coat didn't get made, is because I actually opened a shop, a real life physical bricks and mortar shop, except it's not bricks and mortar, it's actually in a converted polytunnel, which is much more glamorous than it sounds. And yeah, opened that up on the 15th of April, so it took me an entire week of lugging bits and pieces back and forth, taking apart furniture here. There's a whole bunch of books that no longer have bookcases, and basically setting up the shop with the help of my father, which was amazing of him. So yeah, we've got it completely set up, it's working, it's open, I have actually sold things, and I've got commissions, which I'll be showing you in my May fabric haul video, which I'm going to film for you next. But yeah, that was the reason that lots of stuff didn't get done this month. Oh, sorry, lots of stuff didn't get done in April. But they're things that I did get done, and I shall show them to you now. And first up is this Grace dress, which I made out of the white cotton lawn, which had the crocheted border on the edge, and I love it. So let's give you a twirl. So I loved how this turned out. It's a really fine lawn. So I actually have lined the bodice with some white cotton, and so it's the lawn on the outside the shell. There's an interlining of white cotton, and then the actual lining of the dress is the white lawn as well, because it is just so soft and it's really lovely to wear next to the skin. But I didn't think that just the 2 layers of lawn were going to be quite enough to hide my underwear, and I was right. So I've also made a very basic, just gathered white skirt that's gone on the underneath, which it comes to just above the crochet detail on the hem, just so that I don't flash my knickers at everybody. So yes, that's make number 1, and I'm very happy with that. So next up we have Grace bodice with the Maxi Anna skirt by Hand London. So let's give you a twirl for this one. I did one of the giant splits because I thought that was more than enough, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. I hope you can see the hem, because that was why I picked out the green detail and used that for the waistband and the straps, because there was a solid kind of green band around the base. You've seen me make this bodice a few times now, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if you've got a tried and true pattern that you love, that you know suits you, and that you find it easy to make, I don't see anything wrong with making up lots and lots and lots of them, which is great because I have about 14, 15 of these now as well. So yeah, it's definitely a TNT for me, and I love this dress. I think it's really pretty. I love the fabric. I'm really happy with how the print placement came together. I cut this skirt, I cut the whole thing on the cross grain because it was a border print, and it was a really long border print, and so these skirt panels are 42 inches long, and that literally took into account all of the fabric, but I think it's worked out really well. I'm really happy with this one, so I shall show you another one. So the final thing that I was going to make last month was this jumpsuit. It's out of a sort of geometric abstract grid print. It's rayon. I got it from eBay and it's come from India, and I was going to use the Butterick 7201 pattern, the bodice part at the very least, which is what I did. And I wasn't sure I was going to put a circle skirt on, or if it was going to be panelled and all that kind of stuff, but I've ended up doing something a little bit different. Let me show you. I've made a jumpsuit. So I'm really happy with how this has turned out. As I said before, I muslin the bodice of this dress, and it is not as tight and fitted as it looks on the illustration, but I quite liked that. I wanted it a little bit baggy, and that's why I've used this drapey fabric to do that. And as I said, I had no plans for the bottom half other than it was going to be a skirt, and one of the UFOs that I will be showing you in a second is a jumpsuit that I made from a Dorothy Perkins ready to wear that I'd bought 4 or 5 years ago that I love. So whilst I was fixing the bodice on that, because that was the problem with that one, I decided, hang on a minute, it would look awesome if I did this bodice with trousers, which is what I've done. Completely fudged these as I went along, because they, as I mentioned last month, I copied the Dorothy Perkins jumpsuit exactly, and the waist is a little bit too big, but it pulls in with the tie, which you'll see, which I don't mind. But for these ones I wanted it to be very fitted at the waist, and then very blousy at the top, which I think has happened, and then very sort of flowy trousers that, if from a distance, kind of look like a maxi skirt. So yes, that's what I've done. The only thing that I've not done with these is finish the hem on the trousers. That still needs doing. That's going to be something that I'm doing this afternoon, but I've been putting off getting this, well, I haven't been putting off, I have not had time to film these videos, so I wanted to get that done, and it looks good without the hem done because they're so long you can't really tell. So yeah, I'm really happy with this make, very pleased with how it came out, and I think there'll be a few more of these in my future as well. So I have one more thing, no I don't, I have 2 more things to show you. So this is the first of the 2 UFOs that I wanted to get completed last month. It's made from Liberty Carline Poplin, not lawn as I think I said last month, and I've had it in I completed it last year. It didn't fit quite right, so it's been in my little UFO cubby to be fixed for, like I say, about a year, so I thought it was finally time get it done, especially as everything was cut out. It just needed to be constructed, so you know, how lazy was that? And I'm really happy with it. Let me just give you a twirl. Okay. So there's the little keyhole at the back. I've made some rouleau loops and put some buttons on. My boobs aren't quite so squished in this version. So yeah, all in all, I'm happy with this. I probably think the trousers that I made in the rayon are a little bit more successful because they're very drapey, and there is an awful lot of fabric in these. So I'm going to live with this for a little while, but I may take it apart and turn it into a dress in the future, but I'm not sure. I'm going to give it a go, see how I feel about it. But yeah, I do this a lot. I make jumpsuits, decide that they're not quite right, and then turn them into dresses. So the second UFO that I wanted to finish last month was this cherry tree print dress. As I said, I finished this again about this time last year, and it's been sitting in the wardrobe ever since because I only bought 2.5 metres of the skirt of the fabric, and then I tried to cut out a different bodice and didn't like it. And that had eaten into some of the length, so I think I only ended up with about just under 2 metres in the length of the skirt, which was fine, but it just wasn't as full and floofy as I like. So I ordered another 2.5 metres and included all of that into the skirt. So the skirt is now huge, as you will see. See? It's enormous. But I'm so happy with it, and it's definitely much more up my street, and I will wear it way more often. So really pleased with this one. I took the bodice off and then decided to reconstruct the bodice because I had raised the neckline a little bit because, as I've mentioned before, these dresses are very booby. And I'd raised the neckline a little bit, but that led it to gape away from the skin, so I added some twill tape into that and sort of stretched the twill tape so that it gathered in and stayed flush to the body, which was fine, but it did affect the prettiness, the sweetheart neckline look. So I basically reconstructed the front and the side panels, because I've actually taken about 1 inch out of those from the top because I've lost some weight since this pattern was drafted for me. Yeah, which is awesome, but it does mean that all my dresses were a little bit too big. So I took those cut new side panels, cut new front panels, reused the waistband, the straps and the back panels, and I reused the zip as well. So got it all finished, got it put up on a mannequin, and it was on display in the shop for a while. Went to try it on again, realised that there was a hole in the zipper tape and that the zipper pull was getting stuck in it, so I had to take the zip out, put a brand new zip in. So this is the 3rd time that this dress has been taken apart and put back together, but thankfully it's all working now, the zip's fine, and I love it. So I can't get hold of, unfortunately I would like to stock this in the shop, but I can't get hold of this fabric in a long enough length to justify doing that, but you can still get it from fabric.com and Modes for You, which I will link in the down bar, so you can go and grab yourself some of this if you would like. Highly recommend it, it's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that was it for stuff for me. The only other thing that I showed you last month was the Skull and Roses fabric, which was going to be an Eliza Lex bodice with a gathered skirt for small girl type creature, my niece, who turned 20 today actually. So happy birthday, small girl type creature, if you're watching this. Here is a video of her being very, very super girly and twirling in it for me. We went out for lunch on Saturday. My brother, his wife came over from Winchester, and we drove up and met them in Cowes. We had an amazing lunch. As it was to celebrate small girl type creature's birthday, and also it was my birthday yesterday. I was 37. How the hell did that happen? Slightly terrifying. I don't feel older than about 16 most of the time, so yeah. We had an amazing weekend, so it was lovely to see them, and her dress fit and that was awesome, so she really loved it. That's everything. I really hope you've enjoyed having a look through what I've been up to in April, and if you have, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I shall see you very soon. Bye!
Prance. That's not very modelly.
I'm not very modelly. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so yes. This last month. I'm just going to check that the camera is still filming because it stopped. Oh no, it is, that's good. Actually, I haven't got lipstick on my teeth. Let's not get changed on camera this time. Don't forget to edit that out. Still filming? Yes, still filming. Because you can eat a big lunch and then, you know, loosen the tie and not get squished belly, which is good.
Cramps.
I'm gonna sit down again. Okay. I've got my regular trick on my head. It is a little bit loose. It's not very loose. I'll shut up.